It's great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining in and watching. So today I have a controversial sort of topic, but I found it interesting. So I hope you also enjoy it. And it's all about, are you a confident introvert? Which are two different words, opposite words, but they make sense when you go ahead. Because look, we all have different personalities. Like आउटगोइंग है कोई शाय है, कोई स्पोर्टी टाइप है, कोई स्टूडियस टाइप है. So just let me share my PPT first. Oh, sorry. I think I didn't share the screen. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes, please.
Great. So that's the topic. Are you a confident introvert? And there are a few things I want you to think about yourself. It's a task. It's not something you have to do right now. It's just you have to think about, like, how do you regard yourself? How would you describe yourself? So this is a task that you can do anytime, but it will give you about you. What do you think? And what kind of personality are you? What is your opinion of yourself? So just look at thoughts you have about yourself. What kind of thoughts? Negative होते हैं या positive होते हैं? And what are the thoughts you want to think? Are these the thoughts you want to keep in mind, जो negative, positive, या किस type के thoughts लाना चाहते हैं आप अपने बारे में? And how do you want other people to see you? What is the appearance, or what do you want to project towards them? And how do you want to feel? So these are some things. It's of self-inquiry. You can just note it and do it anytime at all. But yes, I would like to know, how do you regard yourself? Are you an outgoing person or a shy person? Yes, anyone would like to say?
I'm not very outgoing.
Okay. That's evident that you don't even come on camera. So yes, we all have different kind of personality, but there is something good in not being very outgoing also. So that is what I'm here to explain. It's good to be an introvert. So, when you look back in your life, you feel that you've always been more comfortable in solitude. So you feel that sitting alone is perfectly okay. So naturally, everyone calls you an introvert. And sometimes it's used in a derogatory sense also. Okay, acha, introvert type banda hai. So now, first let's understand who is an introvert. So जो introverts होते हैं ना, they tend to be very quiet, reserved, सोचते रहते हैं, introspective होते हैं वो बहुत. तो वो बिल्कुल अपना अकेला रहना चाहते हैं. They like to sit totally away from the crowd sorts. जो extroverts होते हैं ना, opposite of introverts, who are outgoing sort of people, extroverts, they gain energy from social interaction. So मतलब लोगों के बीच में जाके energize हो जाते हैं. But introverts जो है, they lose energy when they go among people. So after attending a party या किसी ऐसे crowded area में जाके, they feel that they need to recharge by sitting alone, by spending time alone, कहीं पे भी कुछ भी अपना करके, वो उनका रिचार्ज पीरियड हो रहा होता है कि बस अब मेरी एनर्जी खत्म हो गई है, लोगों ने सारी ले ली है, अब मुझे रिचार्ज करना है. There is a difference between an introvert and being shy. दो अलग, normally we say कि introvert है, shy है, वो एक हम synonym ले लेते हैं. But it's not sure. So shyness shows कि there is a fear. You are afraid of mixing up with people, of going into social situations. कुछ भी डर हो सकता है, but there is a fear. Introverts जो होते हैं ना, they just prefer not to spend time over there, not to go out among crowds, among people. So it's not that they are fearful of interacting, but they just don't want to. They prefer to stay alone. It's not that introverts को अच्छा नहीं लगता कि लोग हैं उनके आसपास, that they have close people group, वो अच्छा लगता है. But you know, like in doing small talk, okay, polite conversation जो होती है, they find it very tedious. बहुत उनको cumbersome लगता है, boring सा लगता है. Yes, अगर वो meaningful conversations होंगे, deep meaningful conversations होंगे, तो they thrive in that. And then introverts जो है ना, they also like to think before speaking. They just don't कुछ भी बोल दिया वो नहीं करते. So they prefer to choose their words carefully, and they don't want to waste their energy on unnecessary chit chat करते रहो, उसमें they don't want to waste energy. And they try to have a full understanding of a concept before they actually give an opinion or give an explanation of what it is. So my topic today is, are you a confident introvert? So as I said, these words don't seem to go together, but many introverts can be confident people. So being an introvert is not about lack of confidence. It is more about people who are stimulated by internal thought and not by the external action जो हो रहा है. आसपास के action से वो stimulate नहीं होते हैं. They like to be within themselves, with their own selves. So they don't like to go to large social gatherings. So this is as I said, this is a preference. Just prefer the solace of solitude के आराम से शांति से बैठे, and it recharges their batteries also, as I said. But to other people, to extroverted people, उनको लगता होगा कि जी बहुत शाय है और मिक्सअप नहीं होना चाहते. इनफैक्ट जो इंट्रोवर्ट पर्सन होता है ना, वो भी अपने बारे में यही सोचता है कि मेरे में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, मैं नहीं जाना चाहता. तो दे फील वेरी सोशली इनएडिक्वेट because of it कि मैं I cannot mix with people easily. But this is not a fault. So if you recognize and understand this aspect of your personality, you can like accept yourself in a better way. You can work on yourself in a better way. We've all heard of Bill Gates. He was the founder of Microsoft, one of the most successful businessmen in the world. But by nature, he was an introvert. He didn't lack self-confidence though. So तो पर इंट्रोवर्ट होने से वही मतलब नहीं कि आपको कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है कॉन्फिडेंस. और there's another very famous name, Barbara Streisand. She's a very hugely successful award-winning actor, film producer, also singer भी है वो. A very larger to life extrovert personality लगती है ना कि हाँ, she is right in the limelight. But she used to suffer from stage fright. Before giving any performance, she had to like deal with that. So both learned how to manage their personalities, not to let them affect what they were doing. And they're both successful, confident people. So we can all understand our personality and work on it. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is कि नहीं हो सकता, ठीक वो है ही नहीं. Now, let's look at what are the signs of an introvert. कैसे समझ आती है कि you are an introvert? Understand that. So first is, of course, that when you are around lots of people, it drains your energy. So you feel exhausted after spending time with in a group or in a social gathering. So, and then after that, you want to just go into a quiet space, retreat into it. वहाँ शांति से बैठने का मन करता है. You know, when such people are in a social gathering, they expend their energy. मतलब खर्च हो जाती है उनकी energy सारी. Unlike extroverts who gain energy, as I said earlier also. So you lose energy amongst people and you have to recharge yourself. Then such people, they enjoy solitude. So अगर एक book मिल जाए, आराम से शांति से कहीं बैठने का मिल जाए, that is the best time for you. Or if you go for a peaceful nature walk, या सिर्फ बैठ के कोई अपना फेवरेट टेलीविजन प्रोग्राम भी देख लिया, तो आपको बहुत अच्छा लगता है. You feel energized because of that. So अगर having a few hours to your own self sounds a good idea, then you are an introvert. Okay, so next is they have a very small group of friends. लोगों को लगता है कि इंट्रोवर्ट्स जो है ना उनको लोग पसंद नहीं है, बट दैट इज नॉट सो. They don't enjoy that socializing, but they enjoy having a small group of close friends. So instead of having that huge circle, they prefer to have deep, long lasting relationships, which are very close, intimate sort of relationships. वो अच्छे लगते हैं इनको. In fact, one of the strengths of introverts is they create a very profound and significant relationships. जिनके साथ भी उनकी relationship होती है ना बहुत deep होती है, अच्छी वाली होती है. And they prefer to interact on one-to-one basis. सबके साथ नहीं बात करना पसंद करते. One-to-one, they shine a lot. So if your social circle is very close, small, so there's a pretty good chance you are an introvert. Then there is also the aspect that people find it difficult to get to know you because they are very reserved, quiet sort of people होते हैं, but they are not timid. Like they डरपोक नहीं होते. They have the courage to interact also. अगर उनको डाला जाए ऐसी situation में, they will hold their own. So it's just उनकी personality ऐसी that they choose to not interact much, not to open up much. So लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आते कि किस टाइप का बंदा है ये. So if this applies to you, you are an introvert. Then another aspect is अगर बहुत ज़्यादा stimulation है environment में, बहुत hectic है, तो you feel very unfocused, you feel overwhelmed. You are not able to handle it. So extroverts, of course, उनको बड़ा मजा आता है ऐसे situation में because they are afraid of being bored. But जो introverts होते हैं, they love such a situation कि अच्छा मेरे को जहाँ कम लोग मिले, कम activities हों. Then they're very easily distracted also. तो they cannot focus probably अगर बहुत chaotic setting होती है उनकी तो. So if you feel overwhelmed in such busy situations, social situations, so definitely you are an introvert. But then there is one advantage of introverts that you become very self-aware because they are inward turning. उनकी जो personality है ना, it is inward turning. They spend a lot of time examining their own internal experiences, thinking about their own selves. So they like understand all their motivations और क्या क्या करना चाहते हैं. They are aware of their feelings. Half the time we are not even aware हम क्या सोच रहे होते हैं. So introverts are very much aware. So their self-awareness, their self-understanding, that is phenomenal. And if you feel that you enjoy gaining deep knowledge about yourself, then it is your strength. It is like you are able to your internal growth is very good. And then such people, they can tune into their environment also because they're very sensitive to what is not being said because they're very observant. तो उनको सारी बातें समझ आ जाती हैं easily. So इसलिए they can interact in a better way with people around them. Then such people, they like to learn by observing. They just don't like extroverts होते हैं ना फटाफट से अच्छा कर लेते हैं किसी तरह से भी कर लेते हैं अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा but introverts ऐसे नहीं है they don't jump into things they like to learn through observation तो extroverts जो है trial error method कर लेंगे adopt but introverts नहीं करते they prefer to observe to learn before attempting anything new so they like to watch the task जो भी होता है जो भी करना है उन्होंने उसको घड़ी घड़ी देखते हैं and then only they feel confident about doing it. So, they can really build up their skills that way. And because वो लोग पहले practice करते हैं and then they do it anyway publicly. So they're very like efficient, you could say. Then they are also attracted to jobs or activities where they can work independently. अब जॉब्स में तो है दैट रिक्वायर्स अ ग्रेट डील ऑफ सोशल इंटरेक्शन तो इंट्रोवर्ट्स को इतना पसंद नहीं आता So they like to choose careers where they can work on their own independently. And then they become very self-reliant also. Independently work करना पसंद करते हैं, तो independent हो भी जाते हैं, and they need less supervision, and they're happy to work on their own as long as they want, and they get a better clarity of the work they have to do. So they're very reliable. People can depend on them. So that's another very great advantage of introverts, or being an introvert. Okay, now let's look at some pointers that show that you are a confident introvert. These are the characteristics. How do we know that you are that confident introvert that we are talking about? You know, being a confident introvert, it is about knowing who you are. आपको self awareness है, you understand yourself, and you know what do you want. आपकी exactly desire क्या है, वो आपको चाहिए, and you know how to express it also. Okay, how do I put my thoughts across to the other person so that I get what I want? So जो introverts होते हैं ना, जो confident introverts होते हैं, they have a unique way of expressing themselves. So वो ना कोई particular phrases use करते हैं that shows their confidence, their self-assuredness, and also show that they are like managing their personal space in a good way by simply using these phrases. So it's like a blend of confidence and introversion. जो phrases use करते हैं वो, तो one phrase that they use is, I need some time to think about it. Now, this is like, they are not impulsive. जो introverts, confident introverts होते हैं, they like to process the information. So एकदम से कोई decision नहीं लेंगे. They put it across that, okay, I'll think about it. Then I will give an opinion or make my decision, जो भी है. So they like to have a more reflective thought process, कि अपना सोच समझ के करें. And that's possible because they're comfortable with silence, they're comfortable with solitude. तो वो सारे जो है ना एनालाइज कर लेते हैं आराम से बैठ के, शांति से बैठ के. So it doesn't mean that they're indecisive या उनको समझ नहीं है, uncertain है, वो नहीं है. It is actually showing that they have like higher, you could say, cognitive abilities, जो thinking processes जो उनकी बहुत deep है, and they trust their own decisions. So they know that मैं सोचूंगा, time लूंगा, तो I'll come to the right, well-considered decision जो है ना, वो मैं बना लूंगा. So they're not stalling for time. They're actually ensuring that they give the right decision. They make the right decision. So it's a sign of their own belief, the self-belief in their own judgment. So it's not a lack of confidence at all. So they make decisions without seeking validation from anybody. वो सोच समझ के हर decision लेते हैं. Then another phrase that they use is, I enjoy my own company, because they're comfortable spending time alone. But they're not lonely or antisocial भी नहीं है. They value relationships and value their own space also. कि when I want to be alone, I will be alone. So they find comfort in solitude, and sometimes it is just not like beneficial ही नहीं है, बहुत essential भी है उनके लिए, because उससे वो productive हो जाते हैं, creative हो जाते हैं उस alone time से. And being alone doesn't mean that you're isolating yourself. It's actually you're freeing yourself from all distractions so that you can truly be yourself without the external noise, जो chaos हो रहा होता है आसपास. Then there's another, that the sentence, that phrase that applies to them is that they look at quality over quantity. So they, as I said, that they prefer those deep, meaningful relationships instead of having a large group of friends. So they value depth in relationship that, rather than having lots of friends. So वो superficial relationship उनके लिए नहीं चलेगी, वो meaningful वाली उनको पसंद आती है. Then they have like prefer having one-to-one conversations. Usme they shine. They love to have those deep personal at a personal level conversations. उनको अच्छे लगते हैं. As I said, the body group जो होते हैं that drains their energy. They have to recharge after that. But one-to-one situations where they get recharged. So it's like a more meaningful dialogue for them. And when they say, I prefer one-to-one conversation, they are actually showing their confidence, their preference, that I prefer that depth rather than the breadth of having lots of people around me. So it's a very clear way of communicating your boundaries also. So then that's why they also value their personal space. They are aware that it is essential, and solitude में होना, personal space में रहना, it is most important. So they're not afraid to express it that I prefer to have my space clear. Personal space चाहिए मुझे. Then it's a very respectful way of establishing those boundaries also. And that helps to maintain balance in their lives. So it's not about shutting out people. It's just that they're giving preference to themselves, that I want to recharge myself. So they're valuing their personal space, and they know that it isn't selfish, but it's necessary for their own well-being also. And then if they are good, they are balanced, तो वही सबको भी स्प्रेड करेंगे, आसपास वाले भी वो उसका इफेक्ट फील करेंगे. देन जो इंट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं, कॉन्फिडेंट इंट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं, दे आर ग्रेट लिसनर्स. So when they say I am listening, they are listening clearly, deeply. So the other person also feels that, yes, I am being listened to. So they will not try to dominate the conversation also. But सबकी सुनेंगे वो. So it's literally like a promise कि yes, I am listening to you. It's assuring that yes, I am there for you. वो चीज आ जाती है, and they're genuinely interested, and they will be there. They will understand your perspective also. So it's a very, you could say, a heartfelt emotion rather than just a physical activity of listening. So they are literally committing to the other, empathizing with them. And that shows their confidence also. Okay, yes, I am there. They have that belief that I can be there for the other person. So it's a very deep level connection that they can have. Then, of course, the statement is always there for an introvert that I'm not shy, I am introspective. So it shows, it gives an explanation for their quietness, that they're not fearful or nervous. They just have a deep thinking nature. It also lets the others know that I am in my own space, and I need my time for introspection, for solitude. Then such people, they like to write out things also. Instead of speaking it out, they want to write it. It's easier for them to express their thoughts in writing than speaking it out to anybody. And when they're writing, it gives them an opportunity to organize their thoughts also. Clearly क्या लिखना है, कैसे लिखना है, उनको easily समझ आती है. And they can express their ideas very clearly, and then there is no pressure of an immediate response कि अभी response देना, वो भी नहीं होता, आराम से बैठ के कर सकते हैं. And it's not about avoiding conversations, but it's just that they're choosing a different method of communication. Then, such people, they are less prone to peer pressure. They are not easily influenced by the opinion of others. So they are able to resist that peer pressure. Okay, acha ye kar lo. So they are also less likely to go with the crowd just for the sake of fitting in. के okay, अलग ना नहीं लगना चाहते तो crowd के साथ जाना, वो नहीं करेंगे. So they like to stick to their values, their beliefs. So even if it means standing out or being different. So the opinion that matters most to such people is their own, not other people's opinion. So you can say they're very authentic people. So you are who you are, and you're not afraid to show it. That is the line that describes confident introverts. And that brings us to the next statement that I'm comfortable with who I am. So जो introverts होते हैं ना, उनका जो core है, that is of self-acceptance. So they are accepting themselves, their personality type, and they're comfortable with it. So it's a very powerful statement. I'm comfortable with who I am, because it shows a deep understanding of your own self, your acceptance of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses. जो भी आपकी characteristics है, आप उनको accept करके आप उनको integrate कर चुके हो. So it's, this can be an affirmation also. I'm comfortable with who I am. And it shows your confidence level. You're acknowledging that part of yourself, which is what others may regard as derogatory. You are giving strength to that. Now, there are some final reflections. So, what does it all entail? So, it's about understanding yourself, your characteristic, not changing them. Introverts का एक अलग सा ही path है. They have to travel a different road completely, which is a quieter one, full of introspection, full of careful thinking out about things. कम बोलते हैं वो, but उनकी words बहुत powerful होते हैं. They carry a lot of weight. And थोड़े में ही they can speak volumes. And of course, their self-awareness makes them aware totally of what is happening around them, understanding other people's needs also. So जो हमने phrases अभी तक देखे हैं, they're not just words for confident introverts. As I said, they're affirmations which declare your self-understanding. And it's a means of creating respectful boundaries also. So in fact, each of us need to adopt them to create our boundaries. सबके लिए जरूरी है ये कि हम अपने को समझें और हम अपनी जो है ना बाउंड्रीज भी क्रिएट करके रखें कि कोई और ओवर पावर ना करे, एडवांटेज ना ले हमारा. सो वी कैन अडॉप्ट ऑल दोज. इफ यू फील यू आर एन एक्सट्रोवर्ट, you don't need these, we need them. We all should think of using these phrases. Self-confidence जो है ना, it is a skill and you have to practice it. You have to be like train yourself in it, master it, starting in your own mind, of course. So practice and repeat, practice and repeat. Or over a period of time, if you feel that you are lacking confidence, practice will make confidence effortless. तो आप एक जो उस space में ही होगे that you are feeling confident all the time. So you have to practice thinking thoughts that support me in becoming confident. उसी को सोचना है. As humans, we love to be comfortable. अपने comfort zone से बाहर निकलना नहीं चाहते हैं. So our minds are programmed to protect us, to keep us, make us feel safe in familiar surroundings में रहो, familiar activities में रहो. So जो old habits हैं, हम उनको छोड़ना नहीं चाहते. But if we want to grow, if we want to achieve things, achieve our goals, our dreams, so we have to do something to bring us out of that. So we have to challenge ourselves to do something that you have never done before. Whatever you feel you want to do better at, challenge yourself to do that. And over time, when you start practicing thinking that, creating it in your mind, it will become easier. And you will be able to jump out of your comfort zone, get better at it. So, can you relate to the thoughts that I have shared? Any of you would like to say something?
Hi, Meenuji. Good morning.
Good morning, Rajvin.
Some of mine relates to this because sometimes I like to be a confident introvert, meaning that I don't like to hear and negative situations. I'm
Okay.
training my mind to be positive
Mhm.
through hypnotherapy and listening to consciously positive.
Great.
And consciously positive has made me overly positive. That I had to go for therapy to remove all the negative opinions of people, not myself, but people,
Mhm.
people stigmatization. So
Yes.
in a way, what you said resonates to me as well.
Mhm. Great.
Sometimes you need personal space.
Yes. Very
Sometimes
much.
sometimes um you need personal space. You need to love yourself more so that the negative people can't touch you.
Exactly.
Because the negative people, what they do is they don't love themselves,
Mhm.
so they absorb your self love from you.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Absolutely. So that's when you feel drained, no? That your energy is drained out
And
completely.
then you start thinking irrationally, and you start thinking like you have your life is meaningless and all kinds of things. It happened to me
Okay.
with my second caregiver, but she's all right now, the one who takes care of my mother. So
Okay.
I'm training to be positive in negative situations.
Great.
And so in a way, I can say to myself that I'm a good, confident introvert. So uh, thank you for this session, and I really benefited from it.
Right.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so much for that. Anyone else would like to say something or share anything? Otherwise, we can do a short meditation to come out of that space and become more confident.
I think in this group, quite a few confident introverts. We all
Okay. So if you would like to stop the live stream, we can do the meditation then.